Yo guys, what is up? Max in our Monster Hunter Wilds video, and today we're going over my guide to bow progression. I'm currently HR like 75. I've done a ton of testing on bow, and unfortunately for my findings, there's a lot of skills that sound good for bow builds that just don't work currently. So we'll be going over that, but we're also going to be talking about good skills to have in general, good bows to build at each stage of the game, and the different armor sets to pair with that, as well as what to look for in finding a good bow from the big bow skill tree. We're going to break down everything you guys need to know. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. So let's start by just talking about how to identify what a good bow is in general, because there's a lot of different bows. And one thing to note about bow is a weapon that hits very rapidly, and weapons that hit quickly benefit hugely from elemental damage, as they're able to apply a ton of elemental damage. And so while there isn't going to be a one best bow for every scenario, you can do some things to find the best fire bow or the best lightning bow, and we'll be talking about that. But in general, when you're looking for a bow, things that you're looking for are: one, high attack damage. Affinity is nice. If you don't know, affinity is your chance to crit. Crits by default deal 25% increased damage. So when you're critting, you're going to be dealing increased damage. And then the other thing is elements. Having an element, especially a high amount of elemental damage, is also massive for bows. Now, once you find a bow that has good attack, has some affinity, and an element, then you can start to narrow down things based off of other stuff. So the other things that come on bows that are important to note are the coatings that it comes with. Certain coatings are basically good in every scenario, such as power coatings are just a straight up damage increase and are generally good across any type of bows. And then pierce coatings are the other coating that I've found to really enjoy. Pierce coatings deal less damage. However, against certain monsters that have long length, they can net out a ton of damage. And so I'd look for a bow with either pierce coating or power coatings for most scenarios. And then the other thing to look at is the skills that come on bows. There's a lot of skills that don't work all that well, and I don't think are super important, and some that just seem straight up bugged. So I'm going to mention some of those right now. From my testing, some of the most impactful skills to have that you can get on your bows have to do with anything that is surrounding crits. So things like critical element, things like critical boost are all really nice to have. And some skills that sound good on paper that don't actually work for some reason, at least in my testing, is a skill like this. I've found this Charge Master skill to be bugged and not working. This says it greatly increases elemental damage and status buildup for charge attacks. For some reason, it seems to only work on the first attack from bow and not any of your subsequent attacks. And so I don't think that this is all that worth using. And another thing that on bow I don't think is all that important is your focus skill. Focus increases the fill rate for weapons with gauges and the charge rate for weapons with charge attacks. This gives us 15% more fill rate with bow. However, if you're playing bow properly and dodging, basically when you're getting incoming attacks, you're going to be getting full bars every time you dodge, and it's pretty easy to keep your gauge filled up. So I don't think focus is all that important. It's quality of life, but the best bow perks typically focus on crit stuff and the ammo boosting. So now that we've gone over what makes a good bow and some good things to look out for, let's go over the low rank build. And that is going to be a combination of Guardian Rathalos and Ray Dow. The Ray Dow set or armor is the only armor that you can get early on that will give you Constitution. I find Constitution to be just an absolute must-have for literally any bow build. Constitution reduces your stamina drain when you're dashing and doing all of your movements and attacks, and it just allows you to keep up all your damage, and also keeps you more survivable, because if you run out of stamina, you're going to get hit. And so using the Ray Dow chest piece, the Ray Dow coil, and the Ray Dow legs will give you a bunch of Constitution, which is really nice. Also, the Guardian Rathalos, you can get the two-piece of it to get Scorcher, and use the Guardian Rathalos helm with the Guardian Rathalos waist, gloves, which will give you 2 ranks of weakness exploit. And then with the charm, it would only be a weakness exploit 1, but you can get 3 ranks of weakness exploit. exploit, which will give you a bunch of extra crit chance, and then you've got stamina stuff, and then we're going to be using, there's a bunch of like early bows that are pretty solid. I think the Guardian Rathalos bow is fantastic. It gives you good attack, a ton of affinity, and a good element. It also comes with crit element and ballistics, which are both good perks, and it comes with power coatings. So I think it's one of the strongest bows you can have early on, and that is kind of our early set. The other early set that you can look out for on bow is like using the full Odogaron set with burst, which is really nice and increases your elemental damage. However, you lose a lot of the quality of life by lacking constitution. And so I think this is a really, really solid set to get yourself started, and it should carry you into high rank. I do also want to give an honorable mention to the Ray Dao bow that you can get. It offers good damage as well as pierce coatings, which against certain monsters that are longer can be really nice. And so those are kind of the two bows that I'd recommend for early on. If you don't want to care about elements, the Nursilla bow is also pretty solid, but I do prefer the other bows that I listed first. Once you get into high rank, one of the first monsters you'll fight is the Kutku, which offers a good bow and a set with a bunch of constitution. I would definitely recommend farming this and getting your constitution up for early game. In high rank, it'll make a big difference, and that set will probably carry you up until you can get the Odogaron set or the Rathalos set. The Rathalos set is really, really great for bow, and it offers some really cool things. For early on, the first thing to understand with the Rathalos set is it gives you adrenaline rush, which if you're playing solo is really fantastic. If you're not playing solo, it's not as great, but this gives you a flat attack boost after you like perfectly evade an attack or do your discerning dodge. And with the Rathalos set, you're going to get additional fire damage, and it comes with constitution, so you're getting a ton of just damage on your bows by building the Rathalos set. But the really cool thing about the Rathalos set is it actually works with the Guardian Rathalos set. So if you're using mix Rathalos set with mix Guardian Rathalos, you can still get the 4-piece bonus. And the really nice thing about that is the Guardian Rathalos is one of the first sets that you can get that provide weakness exploit. Weakness exploit is one of the like most powerful skills in the game for bows. It gives you increased affinity when you're hitting monsters, and an additional affinity on wounds, and affinity is super important for your bow for scaling its damage. And so you can wear parts of the Guardian Rathalos set with parts of the Rathalos set to like have a really solid like mid high rank bow. Once you get to mid high rank, I really recommend building a mixed Guardian Rathalos with Rathalos set. The one thing that's super cool about this is, one, they're amazing for bow, and two, you can get the full 4th-piece Rathalos bonus even though you're wearing 2 pieces from Guardian Rathalos and 2 pieces from Rathalos, and you can kind of get the best of both worlds of both sets. The Rathalos set gives you adrenaline rush where you're wearing the chest piece, and the coil will give you rank 4 of adrenaline rush when anytime you perfect dodge, which you should be doing all the time. You're going to get plus 25 attack just flat out, which is incredible. And then with the Guardian Rathalos set, it'll give you ranks of weakness exploit, which is one of the most important skills for scaling your damage on bow. And you'll also get the 4-piece bonus of the set. So anytime that you're attacking, you can have a chance to deal additional fire damage. And then I pair that with the Dober Vam Braces. The Dober Vam Braces offer stamina surge and constitution on your gloves. And then I rock the Constitution Necklace. This gives us rank 5 of constitution plus rank 3 of stamina surge. You get adrenaline rush, and you can get like evade window, weakness exploit, a lot of things that are really, really nice. And then for your bow, for like mid HR, I think the Rathalos Prominence bow is just like such a clear winner. It offers crit boost 3 with 2 decoration slots, good attack, affinity, good fire element, as well as power coatings. This bow is awesome. Unfortunately, there's not that many things that are weak to fire, and so that will carry you over for a while. Some other really powerful bow options are the Fulgur Anjanath bow. This offers critical element 3 and close range coatings. It's a very aggressive bow, but great stats on that with crit element are also really, really nice. And then also upgrading your Ray Dao bow is still a solid option for lightning until you get to like rarity 8. Those are the bows that I'd recommend. And then there's actually something interesting going on with rarity 8 bows. We'll give an honorable mention to the Narcilla bow. If you don't want to worry about elements at all, it comes with good attack, really solid affinity. You can also use poison, pierce, and sleep coatings, so pretty versatile against like kind of any monster. And poison can be really nice. So this is a solid bow to look out for if you're not wanting to build multiple and you're just kind of wanting to build one and not worry about elemental stuff. That was also a great kind of like a mid HR bow. Lastly, for my like HR 75 plus setup, I've found so far not every weapon benefits from these Artian weapons, but I think bow really does. But you can technically build an Artian weapon for just about any element. There are some elements that I think the base bows that you can craft are really good, but basically what this system is you can get parts from different monsters and put them together, and your goal is to put like 3 of the same elements, like 3 water, 3 ice, 3 fire. And the big thing with these bows is one, you can actually upgrade them. So once they're crafted, they're going to be really good, but then you can actually dump resources into them. They come with 3 rank 3 decoration slots, which are incredibly useful for bow. And you can make them with like different coatings. So the one that I use has a power coating. I'll show you the one that I've been rocking. I'm still trying to build other ones, but I got pretty lucky on my craft. So if we go to my equipment info, this is my Artian Angel Bane bow that I've got crit eye 3 on, thunder attack 3, tetrad shot 1, and crit element 3. It's got power coatings, and its base stats are 240 attack, 20% affinity, and 230 thunder. So this thing's an absolute monster, and I plan on making multiple of these with different elements. But the really cool thing about these kind of weapons at mastery rank 8 is you can actually reinforce them. So when you reinforce these weapons, they have a random chance to gain an additional stat. You can go do it up to 5 times, and for example, my bow hit affinity twice. So when I first crafted this thing, it only had 10% crit chance, but now I've hit crit chance on it twice, and now I've got 20% crit chance. And that could technically keep happening. Or you could hit attack, or you could hit elements. But these weapons, I think, will scale the furthest in terms of an endgame weapon. And so I think that these are going to be your best bows to go out for. I do want to give an honorable mention to a bow that I think is really cool, that I think, a lot of the endgame monsters that you're going to be hunting are weak to dragon, and I don't think the endgame arc-veiled bows are all that incredible, mainly because they come with focus 3 on them, which isn't great. The other one comes with negative affinity, which I don't love, and they only have like 1 rank 3 jewel slot, which I also don't love, and this one only comes with pierce, which, is solid, but I think the better dragon bow, because you're going to be farming a lot of like Arcveld for endgame, is actually the Gormagala bow. It comes with crit element 3, which is awesome. Great attack, good affinity, good elements, a rank 3 deco, but it also comes with power coatings and blast coatings, so it's very, very versatile. So if you're looking for a good dragon bow for the endgame hunts, I'd recommend the Gormagala. And then I think for like a lot of the other elements like ice, fire, and that, you are going to be building Artian weapons. There are obviously some other good bows for certain things, but I think the Artian bows are just the most customizable. Now, to pair with that bow, I've done a bunch of testing on a bunch of different sets. I think the Odegaron set is great. I think the Rathalos set is great. But for like real endgame, I do, from my testing, have found that the Gormagala 4-piece bonus is really nice, and does a lot of interesting things for us. So the Gormagala set, Black Eclipse, inflicts you with Frenzy when against large monsters. So as soon as you start a fight, you're going to get a little purple bar to appear. And if you are attacking a monster with a bow quickly enough, which is really easy with a bow, you will overcome that. The Black Eclipse rank 2 set bonus gives you increased damage when you do this. So the 4-piece is really beneficial. With just the like 2-piece bonus, you just get Frenzy, and then not much benefit from overcoming it. With 2-piece bonus, you get a bunch of extra damage when you overcome that Frenzy, which does last a fair bit of time. But the Gormagala set also allows us to get rank 3 of Antivirus and Coalescence with a few decorations, Antivirus gives us plus 15% affinity whenever that we overcome our like frenzy. So 15% crit chance just from this skill is awesome. And then Coalescence, also, whenever we overcome Frenzy, we grant a large increase to our elemental damage and status buildup. And across like multiple damage testings, I found that these were like the best consistent perks to give us the most damage. But even though like I did find that the Odogaron set and the Rathlos set are good sets, the big downside to those sets is they don't come with any rank 3 decoration slots. Now, I don't have the decoration slots that I want. These rank 3 decoration slots, I would ideally have weakness exploit in both. I've farmed a bunch. I can't get more weakness exploits to drop. I've had 0 in like 50 hours of playtime. But my buddy that I have been playing with has 3 of them. But getting weakness exploit 3 in those rank 3 jewel slots would do a ton for us. As getting max rank weakness exploit is literally would be like doubling our crit chance, which is absolutely massive. And I think you kind of need to go the Gormagala set because it has those rank 3 decorations. Now, with the 4-piece Gormagala set, we're going to be using the Arkveld chess piece, mainly because it comes with weakness exploit 1 and good customizable decoration slots. And then with that, we're going to be pairing the Exploiter Charm to get even more weakness exploit. That's what's giving us our rank 3 weakness exploit, which once again is a ton of damage for us. And then for our decorations on our bow, I've done a fair bit of testing with this. There's a lot of skills that unfortunately I don't think do anything for the bow right now. I tried Charge Master, didn't see any damage increases from that. I tried the like normal shot up jewels, and those were solid, but not better than our Crit Eye, which I'm using right now. And then I also tried the Tetrad Shot, which I noticed no damage increase across 10 different tests with using rank 3 Tetrad Shot versus using no Tetrad Shot. So I think that might be partially bugged, and I consistently found putting on Crit Eye was better than that. Unfortunately, I do not have a Crit Boost jewel, so I think like ideally we'd have Crit Element, Thunder Attack, and Crit Boost. I'm not sure if Crit Eye here is better than Crit Boost, but I don't have a Crit Boost jewel to test, unfortunately. But getting Thunder Attack or whatever attack elemental thing you're looking for or using is massive. 20% increased damage plus 60% bonus on whatever element is massive. Crit Element is huge. Greatly increases elemental damage whenever you're critting. And then we're pairing that with Critical Eye, which of the things that I have available to me, I found to be the most consistent damage. Then on our other things, we're going to be making sure to socket the Sane jewels. Sane is antivirus, which is going to give us more affinity whenever our status effect is cured. Until I get more weakness exploits, I'm using Adrenaline Rush. So whenever we do a perfect time dodge, we're getting that big flat amount of damage. And then we're going to be filling in the rest of our things with Stamina Surge and Constitution. So we can make sure that we get rank 5 Constitution and rank 3 Stamina Surge. Makes playing bow feel way, way better. And just by using the Gormagala set, we're also going to get Evade Window 2, which is really nice so that we can constantly land those evades and proc our Adrenaline Rush and keep up our damage. And so that's what I'm using right now. I do need to get weakness exploit, so we can get weakness exploit 5, and then I think we could swap this Crit Eye to Crit Boost, and that would be kind of like my perfect build. I'll be posting all of my like weapon guides on Maxroll. This is the Gunlance one. I'm currently like writing up the bow one, but they'll have different tabs where you can swap between different progressions from starting out to late campaign, mid HR, and endgame. You'll be able to see all of the different pieces of gear we're using, the skills that it's benefiting, the strength and weaknesses of each build, and you can also see like your attack affinity and all those multipliers on this site. So check the link in the pinned comment to head over to Maxroll, where you can see kind of like our bow planner. And that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I will catch y'all on the next one. Take care. Peace.